Up first, the Bougie S'more Stout.
Cheers.
Cheers, my man. So this is our third installation of the Bougie Stout series. So our first one was actually inspired by my little sister. We called it the Bougie S'more. So we were at this campfire at my house, and she had these chocolate graham crackers and like just this over the top like s'more that you've never seen, and then it was like peanut butter, and it was like, okay, this is some real bougie stuff. So we made it a beer, and then we started going after that and like incorporating different family things. So we did like a bougie sweet potato stout, that I had put my grandmother on the cover of, just to pay homage to that. And then this is our third one here, which is the Bougie caramel cake stout. So we actually put real caramel cake in this. We use Haitian vanilla, so vanilla from Haiti, which was really cool because I've never seen that in a beer. And it turned out to be pretty good.
Second, we have the Basketball and Pelican Bay IPA.
Cheers.
Cheers, my man.
So what do we have with this one?
So this one is Basketball and Pelican Bay IPA. Huge movie fan, big fan of Denzel Washington. Training Day, that was right in one of those influential times of my life when that came out. He actually won his Oscar on that. So we paid a little tribute to that. But what you have here is a West Coast IPA. A lot of West Coast hops, but we made it a little hazy, so we call it a Swayze. I'm always trying to make my own beer style. Maybe it'll take off one day. Might have to do something with Patrick Swayze on the cover or something like that. But what you see here is, this is the character what Denzel played, which was Alonzo in there, and then Ethan Hawke had played the character here, Jake. And they're just kind of playing basketball. That's a famous Michael Jordan lean back pose that you see if you Google Jordan lean back. And that's a defensive player there, but we really want to highlight some of the other elements in this beer. So Denzel Washington's character, or the hop character here, has on a pair of Jordan 13s, which stands for the 13th Amendment, which was pretty much responsible for a lot of mass incarcerations of African American men. Obviously they're playing in a prison, Pelican Bay. Growing up, we used to play on double rims outside in the park. So, paying homage to like some of our childhood and playing in the park with the chain nets. The other character is wearing a pair of Asics. Isaiah Thomas wore Asics. We're huge basketball fans, Bad Boy Pistons, Chicago Bulls. But he's wearing a pair of Asics. Isaiah Thomas wore these Asics. Isaiah Thomas was a nemesis of Michael Jordan, right? And so Jake was a nemesis of Denzel's character in the movie. So all of it just kind of ties in with a lot of fun hidden nuggets and gems that we always try to put into our labels.
And lastly, a beer released this Black History Month, the Pullman Porter.
So with our last beer here, this one, a history lesson.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so this one's called the Pullman Porter. So that's me right there, this good looking fellow. That's Jamal. We kind of put ourselves on this one. Again, it's symbolic that, what the Pullman Porters did paved the way for us in society. Though maybe not indirect or directly, it's the people before us that helped us have the opportunity to make dope beer for dope people. Pullman Porters, what they did were, they were train workers. Most people would see them in their uniform, carrying luggage, shining shoes, delivering dinners, things like that. But they had such a pivotal role in African American and American society. They were the first group to unionize. So they had the Brotherhood of the Sleeping Car. And they were the first ones to have a major deal with an organization, as far as a union for African Americans. They would travel the country with newspapers from city to city that were African American focused, so that everybody could figure out what was going on in other towns and cities. When they were doing their thing, there wasn't things like YouTube, there wasn't Instagram, information didn't travel as fast, TV, cable, none of that stuff was there. So these guys were very, very pivotal for the black middle class and society in general, so we wanted to pay homage to them. They had to work 20-hour days with like 4 hours of sleep and breaks. They had to pay for their own meals. I mean, they were degraded often, called boy and George and just, very derogatory names, but they kept pushing forward because they knew what they were doing was super important for that next generation. So definitely wanted to pay homage to them and say that beer is black history. One of the first beer recipes ever known on this earth was in Africa, in the Mesopotamians. So, beer is black history, and we were just kind of highlighting that this year. Let's pour some of this up and give it a shot here and let me see what you think. You know, also on this label, I will show you that, I'll give you the gulp there. It's one of my favorites. I like drinking on the snifters. But one of the things on here too is you'll see the newspaper, Chicago Defender. That was a very large African-American newspaper, you know, that a lot of people got their sources in. And it has our logo on it, you know. It's almost like we're telling the world, you know, going from place to place, dope beer for dope people.
Oh, hey, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's a good porter.
You like that?
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
so we put cherries in this, so there's some good cherries in there and a little bit of coffee. Really fun beer to make.
For more episodes of Hops with Hey Luke, head over to woodtv.com and click the Watch tab.